Come on in here. Good evening. Good evening. Y'all come on in here. Good evening, everybody. It's 8:07. It's 8:07. Eastern Standard Time is 7:07 Central Standard Time. What's up? What it do? What it do? What it do? What's up, Ruth? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me all right? Can y'all hear me all right? Hey, Ruth. Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing? What's up? I see you. I see you. Good evening, everybody. Men showing up emotionally available. We got a lot to talk about tonight. Good evening, everybody. Hey, Tina. Talk about tonight. Good evening, everybody. Hey, Tina. What's up? What's up, OG Harry? What's up, Bill? What's up, Inferno? Inferno. Ruby Jackson, y'all tap that screen. Hey, what's up, Coach Angel? Hey, good evening, everybody. Oh man, I got to send you something too. I got to send you something. Look up Trevor Mowad, Moawad. I'll text it to you. Hey, Tamiko. Excuse me, Tomiko. Look this up. Hey, from Miami. Hey, Evie. Where y'all coming in from? Where y'all coming in from? What's up, Dara? I'm all is well. 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 There you go. I gotta send it to you while it's on my mind. But I'll text it to you. What's up, Black Bunny? Hey, Sister Mary. Okay, okay. Let's do that. Okay. Where y'all TikToking from? Good evening, everybody. We got 11 people in the room. Y'all come on in. This is our good evening. I'm Dr. Sims, host of the Blue Table Talk for Men. We're here this evening to field your questions if you have any, and talking about being emotionally present, being emotionally available. And men, we got so many stereotypes and we have so much negative conditioning that we have to unpack. We told, don't be sad, don't be happy, don't be mad, don't be angry, don't be too joyous, don't be too celebratory. We got to walk around like robots. Okay. I mean, so we got so much to unpack. Tommy Cole, how's everybody doing? What's up, Michael? What's up, Gay? What's up, Gay loving? Okay. What's up, everybody? Good evening, Mr. JT. Come on in here. Come on in here, JT. Let me invite him in here. Come on in here. What's up, Gay loving? What's up, everybody? Good evening. Good evening. There's Sneaky. That's what's up. Y'all come on in here. Yeah, invited Sneaky. Yeah, come on in here. I invited Mr. JT too. There he is.
Hope you can hear me.
I hear you loud and clear. Do you hear me?
I do. You sound great. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you sound great as well. Now, how you doing?
Oh, I'm amazing,
I know.
as always.
I
I'm
know that's
amazing.
right. I know
Um,
that's right. Did you talk to Mrs. Sneaky Fuzz, Mrs. Phil,
yeah, I did. Remember, I
about?
told you that when we went to Myrtle Beach and we
No. I'm
chilled and
talking
we
about.
sat.
I'm talking about. We want her on the next Battle of the Sexes. Battle of the Sexes
Oh, she
five.
said she said okay. So I don't know how solid that's gonna be, but she did agree. I just don't know
Okay.
if she gonna stick with it.
Well, good
We'll
evening,
see.
everybody. Hey, Trish. Good evening, everybody. I'm here with my boy Sneaky, and he's one of the legs of the Blue Table Talk for Men. And we're talking about being emotionally available tonight. And I believe tonight, Sneaky, just having you here for right now is a good thing because this is something you struggle with. This is a challenge that you have, being emotionally present and being sometimes emotionally absent because you're as a matter of fact kind of guy, and sometimes the softer side of Phil, you don't have any cards in that suit. Talk to me.
Well, it is true, and you know me, I'm brutally honest, and I don't talk about other people. I talk about me. So, being a married man with four daughters,
Right,
uh, also being a career military man, and I mean, not just average, joined the army, got a job. I was one of
right.
those guys,
I got you. I got
right
you.
on the front line type of guy, elite, blah, blah, blah. But anyway,
Right,
so having to contend with that in a career that required no nonsense. I tell you to do it, you do it. You don't question me. Your life
right.
may depend on it. Jumping out of airplanes, all of that stuff.
Yeah,
So you have that you have to contend with for 20 plus years. Four wars during those 20 plus years.
right,
And then being a father and a husband. I married my high school sweetheart, and it's amazing that she's still with me. It's a blessing that she's still
right,
with me after all the stuff
right,
we've been through.
right.
And I've said this before. Um, Everything bad in my marriage I created. That's nothing to brag about, but it's a matter of fact. It's the truth.
Right.
Through mistakes and arrogance and I don't know
Well,
training
well,
and
let me ask you this
that
then,
type of
so,
stuff.
because it seems like your wife, she's emotionally present. Okay, she's the
Yes.
softer side of the Field household. So when you ask her, baby, why have you stayed with me all these years? Why did she stay with you? If you
Hey,
telling us you are hard to live with and hard to deal with, and you're a no nonsense kind of guy, why has she remained all these years, young man?
well, I'm not hard to live with. I'm just hard to I'm a handful sometimes. Okay, now
Okay,
on top of being, and I'm trying to be honest here, on top of being all that, I'm also a pushover. If my wife
right.
wants it, she's getting it. If my daughters want it, they're getting it.
Amen. Amen.
I'm the quintessential provider. Okay, if I can't give it to them, nobody can give it to them. That's
I
me.
understand. I
Okay,
understand.
Talk your talk, Nikki. Talk your talk,
I'm not.
Nikki.
I'm not. I mean, not bragging, but they've never lived in a not nice place. They've
I
always been
understand.
above standard. They've never. My daughters knew how to eat lobster and steak and things like that when they were little. I wanted to
Understand.
show them things.
Right.
My daughters have been on cruises. My daughters have, they've seen the world as much as I could. And once again, not bragging, but I
Right.
came from the inner city south side of Chicago. And I wanted to give my daughters the things that I couldn't have.
Right.
My
Glory.
father was my example. Till death do us part. He did that with
Right.
my mother. All right, they were married
Okay.
forever when she passed. Rest in peace. My father's still with us, but he
Okay.
was also a military man. It wasn't that I love you, boy. I love you, boy. That's not
Right.
the experience that I got with my father.
Understand.
The
Understand.
experience I got with my
Understand.
father was, boy, you need to do blah blah blah. This is what it takes to be a man. Your word is your bond. You're
Right.
responsible for your family. That
Right.
type of thing.
Right.
And I kept that piece, which was valuable,
Mm-hmm.
but I added the I talked to my daughters way more than my father talked to me because I
I
didn't like
understand.
that.
Right.
So I changed that. Um, but then on top of that, I kind of got more and more detached because,
Right.
truth be told, now that I just thought about it, it's not a revelation, just thought about it. I was
Right.
gone so much, it hurt less to leave all the time if you kind of kept up a barrier.
I
And it's just a
understand. I
barrier that
understand.
I just need to work on
Yeah.
kicking over, knocking down. My
Right.
wife's
So
always
so
been
let's
there
let
and she
me
understands.
before I go to JT and Rory. So your estimation of being emotionally present and emotionally available is being a provider for your family. That's big in your book. But so
Yes.
what would be the complaint, and I put that in air quotes, of Mrs. Kim and your four girls? What is their argument with Dr. Daddy Phil?
Because Daddy Phil is blunt. Case in point, Dad, huh? Well, I feel some type of way. Somebody said something to me on Facebook. I'd be like, okay, well, you know, drop them, unfriend them. Why would you keep going
You
back and
go
someone
burning
saying
Mac on
stuff
them. You
to
go
you?
burning Mac on them.
Yeah,
F them.
you know,
F them.
yeah. I went on Facebook. They said something I didn't like. It hurt my feelings. Then what did you do? Well, I went back and it hurt you.
Uh-oh.
Then stop doing that. That's me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you
Understand.
know.
Understand.
And my wife would be Phil. That's not what she wanted to hear. She
She'll pull
wanted to
your
hear,
coattail.
baby, you'll
Okay.
be okay. She wanted you to listen to her. And I go straight into problem solving
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
instead of listening and nurturing. Okay, Dad,
Right.
this hurts
Understand.
me. This is what we're gonna do to stop the hurt. Instead of
Okay.
why does it hurt you, sweetheart? This is that's the in my military career. If there was a problem, or if there was a threat, or there was something that was gonna hurt you, you get rid of it. You either
Mm-hmm.
neutralize it or you move away from it.
Neutralize that threat.
Yeah.
Right, you neutralize the threat. So if something's threatening or hurting one of my daughters or my wife, the first thing my brain goes to is this is how you get rid of that.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of
Neutralize the threat.
oh baby, what happened? Let me hear your side of
Okay.
it. I'm like, bump that. This
Okay.
is how you get rid of it. And that's one of my big problems.
So, okay, come on, JT, you and Rory, y'all chime in about emotional intelligence and emotional present and being emotionally absent. Y'all chime in this evening. How you guys doing this evening?
Doing good. First of all, great to see all you guys. Actually, I am writing my first ebook, and then I'm writing my full book on emotional intelligence. And
Very good.
yeah, and so one of the things that I think people need to do is unpack what it does for you. And one of the key things is it releases stress,
Mm-hmm.
it diffuses conflicts, and it makes you more aware of your own emotions before you have to release stress or defuse conflict. And
Okay.
what we don't tend to do is ask ourselves, what is the real root of my frustration? Is it really what the person
Okay.
said, or is it a reflection of what bothers me?
Mm-hmm.
Or
That's
something
good. That's
behind it.
good.
And so I would say one of the things about me that I had to learn was my default button was anger. And because
Okay.
I let my anger be my default button, it didn't allow room for me to be loving like I needed to be.
Mm.
That's good. So what would you say, Bishop James? Where do you say where did the anger come from?
Abuse. My father was a very abusive man. And
Okay.
so
Okay.
uh,
Okay.
I was a great example of that is one time my father was high on drugs.
Okay.
He
Okay.
hung me out the window by my ankles and brought me back in the car. And
She's breaking up a little bit.
I think it's breaking up.
You breaking up a little bit, Mr. JT. Hey Rory, chime in a little bit, man. What's
So,
your default emotion?
anger.
Okay. Okay. So what would you say the seed of your anger? Because Phil, I don't know if you can attest to that or not, but Rory, where's the seed of your anger coming from?
Um, a number of places. Not being accepted as a kid,
Oh wow.
being being molested as a kid. Uh,
I don't think I knew that.
no, you didn't. This is my first time talking about it with you.
No,
Uh,
thank you for your bravery, brother. Appreciate you.
Thank you, man. Thank
being
you, man.
being molested as a kid, not having a father in the home. I grew up in a time where it was always two parents in the home, and if you had divorced parents, you were the weirdo. I can remember being from kindergarten to about no, I take that back, from second grade all the way to my freshman year in high school, living uh, with a single mom. And then when I moved to Illinois to go live with my dad and my stepmom, that was that. But yeah,
Okay.
being the
Okay.
oddball kid always from right up until about the end of the '80s, you know,
Really?
the only kid in class with a single parent,
Mm.
you know.
So
Um,
would you say because you have such a you're very charismatic and
mhm.
you laugh a lot and you're the center of attention, you're the hype man. So is that pretty much just your shell that
That is
helps you?
that. So a part of that, I'm not gonna lie to you, Doc. A part of that is a mask. A part of that is a shell. But a part of that is my personality. I'm very charismatic. I'm very
Yeah.
personal. I don't go into a situation trying to be the center of attention. For whatever reason, it happens. It just
Hello. What happened? What happened at when we went to the club? What happened?
I started dancing. I just started. I like to have
You
fun.
and JT. You and JT, man.
I like to have fun, and I like the people around me to have fun, even if it's at my own expense. So yeah, the
Yeah.
part of that is a mask. A part of that is a comfort zone, so to speak, and then the other
Okay.
Mhm.
part of that is who I am for real. Like I am a happy-go-lucky guy. I'm not angry anymore. I don't keep that
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
burden anymore. I was able to let it go and say, F everybody. If you can't get on my level, if you can't operate within the United States of Rory Holmes, then I
Yeah.
don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, yeah.
And
So how are you
to that,
emotionally? How are you emotionally being available now? And I know you and I working together,
mhm,
and I have seen some growth, man. I'm so proud of you, man.
I,
So how are you physically showing up now, emotionally with all of your relationships, with all of your friends at work, and how you going through
mhm,
life with your children? Because the way we saw the lives that you did with your daughter, man, I'm just thumbs up. You gonna get dad of the year, man.
I don't do that because then I'm gonna have to try to get it again next year. Uh, so my emotional availability came through a lot of long text messages for some really good friends of mine. A lot of people just getting on my head and being like, "You can't be so closed off all the time." The world ain't.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
started to believe that the world isn't against me. That there are really people out here in this earth that really do give a damn about Rory Christopher Holmes Sr.
I know we do. You got four brothers
Mhm.
right here. You got four brothers right here that care a lot about you, man. JT, what's the release date for your ebook and your next book? And what's the thesis of your emotionally intelligent ebook?
It covers. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we
Hmm.
got you.
It covers the practical side of what emotional intelligence is, and then
Okay.
it gives you steps on how to walk that out. Because there's two parts to it. There's the inner side, the emotional work that you need to do internally, and then there's the
I think we lose him.
Yes, Lady Moore,
responses.
that is true, Lady Moore. That is so true. Being
That's
bitter, that's tough. Keep going, brother James. James is having some
I,
connectivity issues
I think
tonight. You there, James?
because it was happening to him last night.
Okay.
so.
Okay. We talking
They're not
about
picking.
emotional we talking about emotional intelligence and men showing up emotionally because especially black men, we have been told just you know what, chill. No, don't you don't you can't be sad. You can't cry. Don't cry. Put some
Hmm.
dirt on it. It don't hurt. No, you cannot
Mhm.
show your emotions. And a
No.
lot of times this is what happens when we show our ladies, when we show you our vulnerable side, you cannot weaponize that. I think I need to say that louder for the back row. If I open up to you, you
Hmm.
cannot turn around and use that against me. You know what I'm saying? If you know what my kryptonite is, you can't be the one that used the kryptonite against me. You feel what I'm saying?
Well,
Come on, Phil.
I'll tell you, once again, I only talk about me. One of the things is, truth be told, I think it's fear. I got some fear in there
Okay.
because I've seen some terrible stuff. I caught that one. I almost
Well,
cussed.
and kind of unpack
I've
that a
seen
little bit
some,
for us. So give us something like if we were on a game show and we
yeah.
said, Phil, what's the first thing come to your mind? What's one memory of something that happened that you remember like it was yesterday? Count it. You can be soft if you want to. Or you can go deep. What's
Well,
one thing that happened to you?
I'm talking battlefield stuff. Okay, I've been to war
Okay.
4 times.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
and I'm one of those guys. All right, it's not one of the guys who just shows up and I'll do my time and go back. We look for the fight. We took the fight to people. I've hurt a lot of people.
Hmm.
I've blown up some shit. Okay, and that's here. That doesn't just go away. It's not natural to take a life. It's not natural to see dead people all the time, unless you're a mortician or something.
Yeah.
You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And then bringing that back from wherever you got that from. All right, there's sometimes, I got PTSD just like a lot of folks do.
Okay.
I have those nights where you think about some shit you really didn't want to think about, and right then, I know I'm not sleeping that night just because it's
Okay.
gonna stick.
Okay. Okay.
Happens.
Okay.
Anyway, I mean, it's not chronic. Doesn't happen all
Right.
the time, but if we're gonna be honest, let's be honest. Sometimes I have a sleepless night every now and again. I'm not walking around shaking and trying to,
Right.
doing nothing crazy. White tracers, white tracers. No, I'm not wackadoo.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always, you have,
Yeah.
there's repercussions. Okay, there's going to war. You bring shit back. Okay, so back to
Comment.
the fear
Recent comment.
part.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel
Yeah.
like if I just open up and let all that rush out all at once, I might not be able to turn that shit
Right.
up. Okay.
Well, and to that point though, and that's what we're battling when you say bring masculinity back. Is that absent of emotion? Because I cry. You've seen us cry here.
Mm-hmm.
When I was going through,
Yeah.
I was in the hospital 15 days with Mrs. Sims. I cried here on this live. Rory has shed a tear. Phil has gotten close. Goldie has gotten close. JT has gotten close. So we cry. So that's what we're battling. That masculinity doesn't give any latitude for men to show their emotion. That's what we're battling.
Well, see, that's how. Okay, people look at. Nobody looks at anything the same. All right, we all have our
Okay.
individual
Okay.
brains. We all perceive
Okay.
stuff different ways. Okay, masculinity to
Okay.
me
Okay.
is not masculinity to somebody else. Okay, I
That's
don't have
true.
nothing to prove. I'm past that. I
Yeah.
don't do anything because this dude thinks I should, or this is the
Right.
way I'm gonna
Right.
look. I
Right.
don't do that. That's not masculinity to me.
Right.
Masculinity to me is my family taken care of. Is my
That's
kingdom. I'm
good.
the king of my
Yeah.
kingdom. Is the
That's good.
kingdom well?
That's
That's
good. Hold on,
masculinity.
Phil. Hold on, Phil.
Yes,
We
sir.
got somebody on the hot seat. We got 3 minutes. Stock market plan. Introduce yourself and what's your comment on this thing called emotional intelligence? First of all, before we give the mic to you, stock market. Good evening, everybody. Y'all tap that screen. Let's get us about 50,000 likes tonight. JT, he's got an ebook coming. We're trying to get him on. He's having some connectivity issues, but stock market plan. Hey, Devil. Stock market plan. Introduce yourself and what's your comment tonight?
Hey, how are you all? My name is Marvin. I really appreciate you having me. It's a good topic, man. Uh, this is one thing that we need to strive to be more of. You know, generally speaking, and I might lose you because I'm traveling, but
Okay,
generally
you okay?
speaking, women are much better at wearing the emotions on their sleeve, right? They want to talk about it like the gentleman said on the top right. They want you to listen to them. They don't
That's
want you
right.
to give them a solution. Don't you dare do that.
No, sir.
But you,
No.
it's, no, 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 no,
And I don't care.
do
I
not
don't
do
care
that.
what.
Do
I
not
don't
do
care
that. No,
what
no,
type
no,
of woman. I don't
no, no,
care.
no.
I don't care who she is. I don't care her ethnicity. I don't care if she's tall. I don't care if she's slim. I don't care. She wants you to pay attention to
Attention.
her, and she'll drop some tips on you in a
Yes,
minute. You
sir.
don't listen to me. You don't listen to me. Come on, Marvin.
Yeah. Yes, sir. And then what happens is we are we are in men. We are human beings that like solutions. We are
Right.
1 plus 1 equals 2,
That's
right?
right.
We are, let's get to an end here, right? I don't want to talk about for an hour how good dinner was, right? Dinner was
Right.
good, that's great, but you do. You want to talk about
Right.
every single course. You feel what I'm saying? It's like they really
Right.
they're more conversational, and I
Right.
think a lot of men lose their wits about them, because we are like 1 plus 1 equals 2. Like, where do you want to go
That's
to
right.
dinner? Oh, anywhere you want to go. It doesn't matter. You're not cooking it anyways. It's all going to be good. But
Mm-hmm.
and
Right.
she's going back and forth. Now I'm being funny, but she's going back and forth,
Right.
about this place or that place. And then when they finally decide where they're going to go, and they're halfway there, they're like, you know what? I really wanted to go to that place. Can we go there instead? And
Right.
this is what drives men nuts, because it's like, dude, it's like, we like it's two brothers to find out two brothers were gonna go out to dinner. It's like this. Ring ring, yo, what's up, Joe? Hey, what's up, Frank? Hey,
Yeah.
where do you want to go watch the game? Oh, this place or that place? That
Right.
place. Boom. All right, cool. See you there at 9. All right, peace. Boom. Hang up the
That's
phone.
it.
That took all of 50 seconds. You know how long it takes a woman? Two
Right.
women to. Oh, Lordy! Lordy!
Sometimes.
Marvin,
Lordy!
let me go deep on you. All four of us can be driving to said game and we may say 5 words, and we'll get out of the car, go to the game, get back in the car. I drop all of y'all off, and we'll get on TikTok and say what an awesome time we had, and we may have said 10 words to each other.
Yeah, yeah, because it's and this is again. This is generalities. This is not
That's right.
everybody, but
That's
this
right.
is,
That's right.
you have the other from each, please look, and that's why I think men and women are the perfect union. It's not just a physical thing, right? It's also the emotional part of it, because when one is lacking, the other one has. You see,
That's right.
they're
That's right.
they're very analytical, but we're for lack of a better word, we are executioners. We execute.
That's right.
Usually, we execute a lot faster than they do, because
That's
we're
right.
not as analytical, if you will. Now, we
That's
might
right.
make some really, really silly and borderline crazy decisions that are not good, but we arrive to a decision really quick, much
Right.
quicker
Right.
than they can, right? We're going to get there. We're going to get there quick. Now, getting there might not be what we wanted, but we're going to make a decision. Like, this is happening. Like,
That's right. Marvin,
you
that's
know,
good. Marvin, that is good. So, Marvin, let me ask you this before we let you off the hot seat.
yes, sir.
So, how would you grade yourself with emotional intelligence and emotionally being available and being emotionally present on a scale of 1 to 10? How are you with emotional intelligence tonight? Are you sensitive? Do you listen? Kind of give us a grade tonight. Where are you?
I'm on working number 8.
Okay, very
and
good,
and it
very
has taken
good.
me and it has taken me a lot of study. I read a lot, because I'm not a good listener, and
Yeah,
early on in the going, I'll be 50 this year. I've
yes,
been
sir.
married for over 21 years, and by the grace of God, I was able to be introduced to certain credentialed experts through literature that really, really spoke to me.
That's
And
good.
the one thing that I have for all men out there, man, learn the listening skill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be
Listening
an active.
intentionally. It's
Yeah,
very
that's
hard,
so good.
very hard to do for most men. Very hard. There's
It,
nothing wrong with
it
you.
really, yeah,
There's nothing
yeah,
wrong with
it
you. It's
is.
just is what it is. It's not our makeup. Again, we're executioners. We're gonna execute. Like, give me
That's
this, and that.
exactly
We're gonna
right, man.
go. But the
That's what
listening
Phil is
part,
talking
that's where I'm
about.
at, man. That's where
Yeah,
I'm at, man.
Marvin,
Yeah, I know.
Marvin,
Yeah.
Marvin.
Yes,
You
sir.
message me. I wanna talk to you. Set up a meeting with me because I want to talk to you. I want to pick your brain a little bit. Okay?
Oh, certainly, for sure. I'll inbox you.
Yeah,
Hey, you all
inbox
have
me.
a blessed evening, man.
You
All
too,
right,
man.
love you,
Good
man.
evening, Marvin.
Thanks for
Hey,
them
likewise.
nuggets.
Love back, guys.
Now,
But Phil,
um,
back to what you were saying. Keep talking what you were saying because and I think Rory, I think we've talked about it on our show, man. Being a black man, we all suffer from some form of PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
well, see, right now, there's 33 people in here, and if you're in
Yeah,
America, you're suffering from PTSD because you don't know when you're gonna get shot.
Mm-hmm.
You
yeah,
don't know. Hope it never happens, but it passes through my mind if I'm at a grocery store. Hell, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm driving, you know, it passes through my mind. Man, but that dude looks
really,
weird. How come he's wearing
yeah.
that jacket? Because I'm
Yeah.
what?
Are
I don't.
y'all
I
do
don't
y'all
sit with
are
my
June.
back
y'all
to a
do
door.
y'all do y'all own fire weapons?
Of course I
Arms?
do.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Oh,
I own firearms. I'm gonna look. I
look at
own
Roy, look at
firearms.
Roy.
I
It's on
intend
my
on
to
once I
do
get
list. It's on my to do list to go to at
Get you
least go
one.
to a shooting range.
well
Get you
once I
one.
get time with my daughters, I'm taking them to shoot. I'm a professional trigger puller. I've been teaching people how to
Okay,
shoot forever. Okay,
really?
both, sir. My last job when I was working in the Middle East, and I
Okay.
think I mentioned this, there were 5 weapon systems I had to qualify every 6 months, or you lose the job. All
Yeah.
right. With
Wow.
2 machine guns, a pistol, a shotgun, and a rifle, and I worked there for 7 years, and I never left. I don't. I'm gonna shoot, and I'm gonna hit it. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
Anyway, then I was
Okay.
a drill sergeant, and I was a ranger instructor, and I was a freaking infantryman, and I went
Okay.
to look. If I the best thing I do is provide for my
What?
family. The
Okay.
second best thing I do is shoot people.
you.
Okay. You don't
That's
play.
it.
You don't play.
That's it. But yeah, but I also, with those skills, we learn
Okay.
how things work offensively and defensively. I will not
Okay.
sit
So
in a
so Phil,
restaurant with my back to a door.
right?
I'm
So
gonna find
Phil,
every entrance and exit of that facility while I'm in it. That's the
Right.
first thing
Minimum.
I'm doing.
so Phil, and maybe Roy can speak to this too. So you maybe in your training, you have been taught that if you do lean on your emotional side, it's a sign of weakness, and the enemy can get a leg up on you if you kind of show any type of emotion. Talk to me. Am I
No,
pulling
no,
that?
no, no,
Am I pulling at
no, not at
straws?
all. When it
Okay.
comes to my family, I love them deeply.
Hmm.
They know that. All right. My weakness when it comes to being emotionally present is my interaction, my listening and conversation. Everything's this is wrong. Let's
Okay.
fix it. This is wrong. Let's
Okay.
fix it. And I need to
Okay.
break that and get into. Let me talk to you, sweetheart. What's wrong? Lay your head right here, and let me
Okay.
just listen to what you got to say. I just want to fix it, and
Okay.
I got to get into the. All right, sweetheart, let me listen.
Yeah.
Woosah. Let me
That's it.
listen and
And
hear
Phil, I
your
just
side.
this is for you, Phil. This is for you, and this is just dropped in my spirit for you. And so, based on what Marvin just said, maybe something you can use, a tangible thing you can use is like when your daughters or your wife bring you something. Do you need me to listen, or do you need me to problem solve? Dad, I
Yeah.
just need you to listen, honey. I just need
Oh
you to
my!
listen.
They tell me
Okay.
that already. Look, they'll say something. I was like, "This is how I know I had this problem."
Uh huh.
My daughter come to me, Dad. I got this problem with this young man, and he did blah blah blah, so and so and
Uh
so.
huh.
I
Uh
said,
huh.
then you need to get away from him. He ain't worth a shit. She's like, Dad, you messed up already. I just wanted you. Oh, they call me on it. I just
Do they
wanted you to
really?
listen. And I'll be like, well, what did you want us to say? They be like, never mind now.
Right. Then we get
You
mad.
took
It's
the
What'd you
wind
come
out
in
of the
the first
sail.
place for?
you know, and that's the problem. I have four daughters and a wife, and I'm quick to, and I'm working on it. Now you asked him where was he on a scale, and he said he was working eight.
A
When
working
it
eight.
comes to love and providing and
Oh yeah.
doing anything I can do, take care of my
10 out
family,
of 10. 10 out
I'm
of
a
10.
10, I'm
10
a
out of 10.
20 out of 10. But when
Yeah.
it comes to being emotional and sensitive, I'm a 4, and that's after some work. Now I'm a 4. I'm working on
Okay.
4.5, 5. I know,
I
once you
got you.
identify
I
the
got you.
problem, you can work on the problem. It's just that I haven't started working on it until recently. Okay, I think I
I'm
told you a
proud of
story a
you.
while back. I'm not
Rory,
trying to
how are
dominate the
you?
conversation, but real quick, remember
Okay.
I used to drink a lot of hard liquor, and that didn't
Okay.
help.
Okay.
Add so times 10, and to solve the problem, instead of saying something, doing something, hurting somebody's feelings, and say I'm sorry, baby, I'm
Right.
sorry, baby, I decided to just stop drinking hard liquor.
Okay.
So you don't have
Okay.
to say I'm sorry for doing that while I was drunk. You just stop getting drunk.
I
Hmm.
am
Okay,
so
so
proud of
I'm
you,
a
Phil.
work in progress.
I'm
It's
gonna
just
give
that
you I'm gonna give you a 4.75 out of 10.
okay, I'll take it.
Rory, emotionally, give us a grade, man. Cause I'm a high 9.5. I'm pretty
Uh,
emotional. I'm much better now. The divorce helped me out a lot. It really
is
did. Come on,
emotional
Rory. Where are you?
emotional availability or emotional intelligence?
Give us both tonight.
Emotionally intelligent, I say I'm about a 7.5. I'm gonna go
Okay.
75%.
Okay.
Seven
Okay. Okay.
7.37. Emotional availability. Doc, I'm not even sure what to be emotionally available means.
Really. I appreciate that, man. Well, and I know JT said he's going to kind of touch on in it with his ebook, but being emotionally available is having the capacity to love and be loved. You know what I'm saying? And that's a piece of it. I don't know if that's all of it, but that's a piece of it. You know what I'm saying? Being emotionally available to be receptive to the idea of somebody being in your life, somebody to love you and you love them back. I just got through working with a couple. They got married yesterday in Vegas, and when we first started, she consulted me to work with them because they hadn't had premarital coaching yet, and
Hmm.
she said, "Dr. Sims, it's so refreshing to not only love somebody." but trust that person to love you back. I said, girl, I said, you could have bought me for 10 pennies. I said, hello. And so, Rory, I believe where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and you spoke to this a few weeks ago, that I don't know if I'm ready at one of the battles of the sexes. I don't even know if I'm ready now, because it is a lot. And I just realized and listened to another um, coach. He
Mm-hmm.
said he went through a divorce, and he said, I just did not realize the
Mm-hmm.
amount of work. I knew it technically,
Mm-hmm.
what the church and what the Catholicism, the Bible said about marriage, but I did not have the tools
Mm-hmm.
and the wherewithal to walk that thing out. I said, boy, you better come up in here, you know. So it's wanting to be loved and being able to love. You know what I'm saying? Come on, Phil.
No,
I got.
JT said he's in a good spot now.
So just real quick, and
Come on,
yeah, JT
take your
was
time.
good.
Take your time.
Uh, I can love. I can love.
Okay.
I can give it all out. I got so much love to give now. I don't. I still find it hard to receive love.
Okay. Okay.
I'm learning how
Okay.
to. I can love my. I've learned how to love myself. I've gotten back to learning how to love myself,
Right.
but I'm not sure that I can receive love.
Okay, I feel you, man. Man. And that speaks to a lot of what you said earlier,
Mm-hmm.
man. Your upbringing and stuff. That speaks a lot to that. You know what I'm saying? Come
Mm-hmm.
on, JT. Talk, JT.
Yeah,
What's the thesis of your ebook? You kind of dropped off when you began to kind of
Yeah.
go into your ebook.
so,
So
um,
talk about your ebook, a release date if you've set one, and what's
yes,
the
yes.
thesis behind your ebook?
The thesis behind my uh, the ins and outs of emotional intelligence, and I'm saying the foundation from working from the inside out. I
Okay.
was listening to Rory where I was trying to get my internet connection, and we like kindred spirits with this stuff so much. And one of the things that I have realized is that when my father was abusive,
Okay.
it broke something in me,
Okay.
and it took away my kindness, and it made me
Okay.
always feel like, let me just be on guard. I'm not going to let anybody tear me down. And
Right.
then I get in a relationship, and then the person that I love leaves me because I accept Christ. So
Oh
now I'm dealing
wow.
with abuse and abandonment. And then my mother left.
Wow.
My mother would leave me with my father on Sunday mornings, and my father would take his physical abuse out on me, you know. And I asked my mother, "Why you leave me?" She said, "Oh, because you could handle it."
Mm.
And and I was the oldest. So there's this thing with you being the oldest that people feel like you could take on more abuse or you could take on more of this, and it was toxic. So
Right.
when Rory talks about that, there is always a part of me that has a yearning to be loved a certain way. And I have to be careful because sometimes that yearning could be fatherlessness and motherlessness
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
when it should be more focused on relationship with marriage. And that took me some years, Dr. Sim. So for me, the basis of me writing an ebook and then writing a full book on emotional intelligence from a perspective
Okay.
of a man is because,
That's
again,
good.
we're labeled provide and protect, but we're nurturers to our wives too. We have kindness in us. We have goodness in us.
That's
We
right.
have
That's
romance
right.
in us. We have gentleness in us.
Mm-hmm.
When you have that stripped of you as a young man,
Yeah.
and I come to you 25 years after being beat down for so long as a man,
Wow.
right?
Wow.
And you like share your heart with me. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Why would I do that when nobody? Because
Wow.
the world was telling me don't cry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay.
Then my upbringing is led by abuse. How
Mm-hmm.
Right.
be that good man? And I know. Thank you for the time on that because that's something that we don't talk about enough. Like I gotta love you in
Right.
areas that you need to be touched and loved. That ain't nobody touch and love me in.
Mm. Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I can't give you what I've never experienced.
Yeah. So what has prevented you, and maybe you talk about this in your ebook and prepping for the full book, What has prevented you not to be an abusive father or an abusive husband or an abusive friend? Because when you and I sat down and broke bread together, man, you have a very gentle spirit, man, just like a big old teddy bear. Excuse me, a panda. You kung fu panda, man. You know. But what has prevented? And Rory is the same way. Rory is as gentle. He's the crane. He's gentle. So what has guarded you? What has helped you not be that abusive person because you were abused?
Right. Yeah. Well, first and foremost, Rory is also the second best dancer in the group. I just need to clarify that because you said you were first. I need to clarify. But anyway, so so what helped me was I actually started out failing.
Okay.
I
Okay.
wasn't physical, but I was verbal,
Okay.
and I still struggle with that. You know, my kids have to remind me that. So what wound up happening was I had to learn that let your speech be seasoned with salt
Yeah.
and grace, that
Mhm.
you I answer every man, the Bible says, right? So the salt is the truth, the grace is the love. And so I had to work
Right.
on the part. But
Right.
here's the thing: the only way I can love you well is if I figure out what hurts me. And why do I need to attack you to tell you where you're wrong? Why do I have to be aggressive?
Mhm.
Right? Once I unpack the aggression, now it's like, why am I angry? You're the one getting the beating.
Right.
Right.
You're the one getting grounded.
Hello.
You don't have
Hello.
like, why am I tripping? You're hurting yourself. And I think what happens is that it is a bad habit that I had to unlearn. And what made me change was my daughter Julia was first born. I didn't want to hold her because I've seen a lot of sexual, physical, mental abuse in the family. So I was even afraid to hold my own child because I'm
Yeah.
Wow.
there's probably something,
Wow.
and I'll never forget my wife went out of town and I had to hold my daughter for the first time and I cried.
Wow.
I even struggle
Thank
now,
you for that, man. Thank you for
right?
that.
And so Julia's crying at the top of her lungs. I change her diaper. I put her back in the crib. I give her a bottle. I put her back in the crib. Then I pick her up and I hold her, and she just stops.
Mhm.
Wow.
And so that for me was affirmation. I'm safe space, man.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm
I'm so proud of you. I am so incredibly proud of you, brothers, man. So when is your ebook gonna
But
be ready?
Friday. It comes out Friday afternoon. After
Very good. Very
yeah,
good. Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
have a
Marvin, I agree with that, Marvin. I agree with that, Marvin. Once you have a baby, once you have a little girl, oh, it's a wrap. It's a
Well,
wrap.
see now,
Because Phil, talk to that Phil about having four daughters.
you gave
oh,
me something right there, JT, and I love you like a brother, and thank you for this because I had the four daughters, but I also had the distance. I was always gone.
mm,
Okay. Not gone because I don't love my family. Gone because
Right.
I did love my family. Defend the
Right.
Constitution
Right.
against against all enemy, foreign and domestic, no matter what country I was in. You see what I'm saying? So
mhm.
my wife raised and mentored and taught my daughters to be
mm,
women. Okay, but then when Daddy came home, it's like Daddy, 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 Daddy. I got that.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
but all now I've been away protecting, and I come home protected.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Okay, I've
mm,
been away soldiering. Do this, do that. Task condition standard. This is your time limit. I'm gonna come back and inspect. And I came home with do this, do that. Task condition standard. This is what you need to get done. I'm gonna come back and inspect. And I'm still trying to unlearn that. Coming quick out of the mouth. The the salt and grace is what I need to
You
attain. I
got to
really want to
do it.
say
You got
attain.
to
I
do it. You
really
got to
want to
be
say that
sweet.
word
You got
attain.
to talk to him. You got to talk to him. So good evening again,
Every
everybody.
week you got a
Little
word.
Mama.
Every week.
Yeah, Little Mama has come in. She's one of our sponsors, Little Mama Sweets and Treats. If you order anything from her, you'll get a 20% discount when you use Blue Table, the code Blue Table. We have a sponsor. She'll be one of the vendors at our event June the 3rd. We're planning our first the Adam and Eve Men and Women's Conference, sponsored by the Blue Table Talk for Men. And Coach Angel was saying, now, Dr. Sims, you know Adam and Eve is an adult store, right? I said, we will have somebody there to talk to that crowd. If people show up because they thought it was an Adam and Eve conference, we'll have somebody there to
I
rep that
volunteer.
and talk about intimacy.
Mm. Tuck your thong in. We got you.
I volunteer.
Rory gonna be here.
Hey, we got it, man. We got, but yeah. So talk to that, JT. That we have to watch how, as fathers, as husbands, we got to watch how we talk to our family.
Yes.
Yes. Um, this generation does not understand that verbal abuse
Yeah,
is even more so damaging than physical.
Yeah.
The physical abuse, you can remember it, but with the verbal, there are words that carry weight. And
yeah,
there's something I have to teach my kids. There's a
yeah.
gap in space between what somebody says and what you receive.
Hmm.
Right,
Because the only time you're wounded by somebody's words is two reasons. You hold them in high value, or you already think about that way, you think that way about yourself.
Hmm.
right, right.
So what happens is when you're young, you're impressionable, so you feel like it's okay. And what I had to
Right.
learn was let me think through the words I'm going to use and what is the real point that I'm trying to get across. Now, if I'm just coming across in my emotions, then my
Yeah,
responses will be very reactionary with no thought. But if I think through with how I
yeah,
want to communicate a result and communicate love, I want to communicate a result. If there's a habit I want my
right.
kids to walk in, and then there's that result, and then there's a love I want them to receive. So I have to come in and say, okay, why are you saying this? Why are
Yeah,
you doing this?
yeah.
And then I listen, and then I have to balance out when I am giving a lecture
Hmm.
lesson.
That say that louder. Say that again because that's powerful. That's very important.
I have to learn the difference between that's why I say I have to between giving a lecture and a lesson. Sometimes a lecture is a tirade. I'm just blah, 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 blah.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
But a
You
lesson,
on a rant. You JT. You on that soapbox.
what you doing? I'm the father of this house. You gonna respect me.
Come on.
And I said it like 40 times. And then the lesson though is, hey,
Yeah. Come on.
you just cursed your sibling out. We all struggle with our words, but the best thing to do is learn how to be slow to anger, slow to speak, but quick to listen.
Hmm.
If you
Yeah,
hear what somebody's saying, then you can respond better. And nobody's perfect. I've made
yeah,
so many mistakes in that area, and I
yeah.
love you. I threw my son out yesterday for football in the gym. Quit your whining. This is part of the process. You got to do that. But then I text him today and say, hey, I know I'm pushing you hard, but I love you.
I love you. And to that fact, the Bible also says in the book of Proverbs that the power of life and death
Is
Mm.
in the tongue.
is in the tongue. And guys, Coach Angel and I are going through her certification, and the last next to the last class we had, we talked about the power of words, and she brought up a great example about if you break a porcelain plate and you drop it on the ground, it breaks off into four pieces. You can super glue it together,
Hmm. Hmm.
but those scars are gonna remain. Now you take that plate. Now you've broken it into four pieces. You've glued it back together. Now you drop it again. Now you broke it into 16 pieces. Now you got those four scars. Now you got 16 new scars. So that's a total of 20 scars. Now you can glue the plate back together,
Mm-hmm.
but now you got to take it to Goodwill because see it's damaged goods now. Now it's still usable, but you're gonna tell that that plate has been damaged. Words hurt because I did a duet talking about physical abuse. A woman's words when she's angry is just as destructive as a man's hands are when he's angry.
Mm.
Words are powerful. Come on, Phil.
I'll tell y'all that this was my wife's going right now. She got my grandson with her. Maybe 2 hours ago, 2.5 hours ago. More than that, because we went to go see Ant Man. Good movie. Anyway,
Okay.
I said something to this. Listen to this carefully. I said something to my wife, and she said, "Let me hear." I said, "Well, why you give me that attitude?" She said, "I gave you what you just gave me." And I said, "Hold up." I
Wow.
thought about it, and I was like, "Shit, I did."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was already
Yeah.
too late. I had came out of
Yeah.
the mouth too fast, and she came right back. Why you talking to me like that? Because I gave you back. And I thought about it after the fact. Now, once again, it was already too late. So
Mm-hmm.
all I did after, I walked away. I came back. I said, "Baby, I'm sorry. We're getting ready to leave." I kissed her on the cheek. I love you. I love you too. We don't leave the house without giving each other a kiss. But I jumped straight
That
to
tongue. That tongue.
I jumped straight to why you talking to me like that, and kind of grazed over the fact that I started the shit. so
Hey,
so
come on,
I need
JT.
to work on that.
One of the
Season your conversation with grace. Come on, JT.
one of the things that Sneaky just made me realize is in my marriage, I just want to help a lot of young men out. If you have a season of being very verbally abusive, the recovery can be almost virtually impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be careful how you talk
That's
because if
right.
you're not careful, what can happen is you can beat someone down to the point that when you try to come back and say, "Hey, I'm different. Oh, I know how to
I'm
talk to you,"
different.
but
Yeah.
they're gonna now have to unpack what you've done. Somebody said go deeper. Okay, I'm gonna try to be quick. So what happens is
Come on.
when I get clean, you're still dirty.
Mm.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So
Yeah.
I, when I say to you, "Hey, you know what? But I'm different now,"
Yeah.
the other person has to say, "I still need time to forgive you." I'll never forget. My wife said
Yeah.
something very powerful. She said, "The first five, I said, man, the first 5 years was really tough. You know, it's just da da da."
Right.
Mm-hmm.
My wife said the first seven. She said, because once you got yourself together, I needed 2 years to process the abuse that I was receiving.
Wow.
And here's the crazy thing. I've been married 19 years since Valentine's Day. I'm still recovering.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still like she's still recovering. And I'm still to some point, I'm still the guy that could be verbally abusive to her. So I have to
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to be patient
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because here's something that nobody tells you.
Come on.
You could grow fast from your own sin,
Mm-hmm.
and it may be real slow for that person to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. That's exactly right.
Hey,
And so, and we got to understand, guys, I cannot stress this enough. Okay? Our Heavenly Father is Creator God. Now we are his offspring. We are his children. Okay? Once you're born again, you're a child of God. If he is creative, out of the words of his mouth, he has spoke this world into existence. We have that same creative power. We can spew life or we can spew death. We have to watch the words that are coming out of our mouth. Do not
yeah.
say this ever again. Sticks and stone may break my bones, but words would never hurt me. That's a lie from the
Biggest
pits
lie
of
ever told.
hell.
Yeah.
That's
Words
the
will
lie.
hurt
That's
you.
a lie from the pits of hell. And I don't care what your spiritual background may be. That is a bold-faced lie because words have power. And
Power.
now that I'm much older and seasoned and still growing, I'm very careful about what I say.
Right on.
I'm working
Because
on it.
as
Here's the
JT is saying, as the fellas are saying, once you said there are four things you can't take back. Four things. Rocks you throw, words you say,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
money you spend, and text you text.
yeah.
You can't take it
Especially
back.
now, iPhone.
Once you say it,
iPhone
once you say it,
text.
Yeah. Well, I'll throw this in. And then this is a now I'm full of gold. I'm gonna
I
speak
have
an
texted the wrong
analogy.
person before.
I'm gonna speak in an analogy. The way I
Okay,
look at it, and
okay.
this is what JT said. This is the way I look at it. I'm standing in a bucket of dirt. All right, I'm dirty. I'm doing some dirt, and I'm shoveling and I'm throwing that dirt on my spouse. She's in a bucket too, and I keep shoveling that dirt until I'm out of dirt. I'm bigger than her. I'm stronger than her, and I can shovel more
Right,
dirt. When my bucket's
right.
empty, she's still got to catch up. My dirt's still on her. All right,
Yeah,
like JT said,
yeah.
just because I didn't got out of my dirt, she still got to recover from the shit that I threw on her.
That's
Right?
exactly
I
that's
gotta have the
exactly right.
patience to get through that, or jump in there and start shoveling too. I'm the one who put the dirt there.
And
Or
Okay,
that
how about this
and
one? Do y'all remember when we were little and we played? We had a PlayStation, a puddle of dirt, and a hose pipe. And if all four of us are playing in the mud now, but I remember mom and dad said they're gonna be home at 5 o'clock. Now it's 4:45. Now I leave the three of y'all to play in the dirt, but I ease away and go clean up and put on some clean clothes. And I'm sitting in the living room, and mom and dad are looking at y'all. They're like, "What are y'all doing? Where's Walter? He was
mhm.
out here too." But I'm like, I'm on the couch.
So
I'm
fresh,
on the couch. No, my hands aren't dirty. I'm on the couch.
Right.
No, he was out here too. Where's the evidence of that?
exactly. And what's
yeah,
crazy? This is something that I think people do not understand. When you're married to someone, that is the deepest love you have. So the more they value you and have expectations for you, the deeper the wound.
That,
Yes.
The more they value you and the
Yes.
more they have
Yes.
expectations for
yeah,
you, the deeper the wound, right? Because there are times I've said to my
yeah,
wife, I
yeah.
ain't like your father did you, but I have more value for you. I need you
That's
to
right.
do more work. And you
That's
know,
good. That's
I wanted
good.
you, I wanted to ask you this, Dr. Sims. This is
Come
this
on.
for you, Dr. Sims, today on this one. I do believe, and tell me if I'm wrong,
Okay.
there is room to recover. But I think sometimes in relationships, you could be married or even courting, and that person may stay with you, but I don't know if you fully recover. I
That's
mean,
a good point. That's a good point. It's real tough, and we were talking about this, and I did a fourth series message on love, and Sunday I talked about the evolution of love. And I said the greatest love is that agape love, that unconditional love. I said we love each other with conditions. We just might as well admit that. We put conditions on our love. We're not supposed to, but it's real difficult for us to love like God because the hurt that remains. You know, we can say all day, if I hurt all three of y'all, if I said something very hurtful to y'all, on the surface, y'all say, Dr. Sim, you know, dog, we still good. But in the back of your mind, and I know JT, I love you. I know JT be like, well, I know what Dr. Sim said. And unbeknownst to you, and you still gonna feel some kind of way towards me now in front of everybody. Oh, JT is so cool. Look at how him and Dr. Sims getting along. But in the back of your mind and your spirit, I'm not gonna trust Dr. Sim like I did before he did that. I'm not gonna trust him because
See, I'm a little
Dr.
different.
Sims
yeah,
hurt me. Dr.
I'm,
Sims hurt me.
I'm a little different because I'm gonna say, hey, can I holler at you? And we're gonna go around the corner, and I'll be
And no,
like,
no, I ain't
"What
going
did you
nowhere with
mean?"
you, Phil.
No,
I ain't going
I
nowhere
will
with you,
never
Phil.
know. I would never hurt one of you brothers ever, nor would I try. But I'm gonna say, "What did you mean by that?" Because I got one
Okay,
way I
okay,
process it. I need to
okay,
know what you meant by that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not to give you an out, just so I have clarity. I need to know what you meant. Because if you meant kiss my ass and meant it, then I need
okay.
to know you meant that in a minute. If
Mm-hmm.
you said it in jest, oh man, I was just talking. I didn't mean it like that. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I was
Right.
taking it the way you intended it to be taken.
so what if they did? And
Yeah,
then,
And
that's see
and
that's
Oh,
what I was gonna just
I'm-
say,
then,
what
but
if
JT.
they did? What if
if
they,
they did mean it,
no,
then
let me give you the
I'm cutting. I'm done.
whole context. What if
Yeah.
they did, but then they apologized?
Yeah, cause you hear people say all the time, "Well, I didn't
If
mean, Rory, I didn't mean to hurt your feelings," but you
it
did, you
comes
said
to
it.
the apology, it would depend on the apology. I say this all the time. Your apology needs to be as big as the fuck up. Excuse my language.
So
Okay,
All right.
okay,
that,
okay,
That apology has. If I say something to you, JT, hey man, blah 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 blah, and I embarrass you in front of friends or a group,
okay.
all four of us, and then later on, hey man, dog, I'm sorry. That ain't good
Yeah,
enough.
no,
I
that's
need to
okay,
make that
bullshit.
okay.
apology in front of everybody that I embarrassed
Right.
you for or hurt you. You make your apology
Yeah,
as big as that screw up.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
So I don't care what anybody says because I don't have that kind. I don't care that much most times.
yeah, yeah.
But if you're going to apologize,
right.
I gotta know you meant that.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you are a rare bird.
He is. He is.
Most people, when they have that type of wound, let me just be transparent for me.
Come on.
There are places in my marriage that I'll never be able to go again.
Okay.
Okay.
Like it wasn't adultery for me, but
Mm-hmm.
the verbal abuse to my wife. And here's a
It.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy. My wife has said the same exact thing, but I'm
Wow.
to a higher standard.
Mm.
Wow.
Here's the crazy thing. My therapist, I talked to my therapist, my life coach. He said someone can say the same thing you said, and it could be more damaging to them than it would be
Right.
to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it will take them longer time. And let me tell you something. I am very black and white,
Yeah, me too.
right? So if you say something and I say something, I don't think you should be in your feelings that long because you said it too.
Yeah.
But what I've
Right.
realized,
Right.
that old saying, you could dish it, but you can't take it, it is really
Right.
true.
It is
Yeah.
true.
So
It is
I'm
true.
saying this, I asked this question because I really need to know this. If you're married, right, guys,
Right.
and there is no room for recovery, and I'm gonna get real deep on y'all this one. This one.
Okay. Okay.
I was told if you're not cheating on a biblical principle level,
Right.
if you're not abandoned or you're not abused, Even if the person will never fully love you again, you can't leave.
Well, well,
See,
I'm a divorcee, so
okay, I'm
yeah.
look 30 plus years.
That's
Wait, wait, give me 30
Hey,
plus years married. Okay, and I'm to the point here is if I was in a position where
right,
there was where she couldn't heal from shit I did,
right,
something I've done,
right, right.
I still got to try.
Yeah,
You still got to try.
okay.
yeah,
We have been. This is my family. This is my wife. These are my freaking daughters. There's no way I can't just abandon. That's not the way I am.
I didn't say
Okay,
right.
kids though.
I understand it. But even if I've damaged it, we're cordial and we speak and blah blah blah. I gotta try. They're gonna. I gotta try.
So less love making, less fellowship,
Hello.
more phone more time on the phone with the girlfriends,
Right.
more more hanging out with other people.
Yeah,
Person
yeah.
you cheat on you, they may not cheat on you, but you do not have the full capacity to be
Yeah.
loved again.
Once
Because
again, if
what
we
are you
get her to
doing?
that point,
Are you just remaining married just for the sake of remaining married? Why are you remaining married? Are you just holding that space, right?
if I
But
pushed her to a
I
point
hear your
there,
point.
I
But the
got to
point
keep
is,
trying.
if you're not operating fully as
Mhm.
husband and wife, what are you doing? And that's why we very better be glad we're saved by grace through faith in Jesus Christ. Because even though y'all are still together, there's some resentment there. There's some animosity there. Your heart is not in it. So it's sort of like what Jesus said in Matthew chapter 15. You draw nigh to me with your lips, but your heart is far from me. So what's the weightier thing here? To appear and we'll just marry because that's what the Bible says. We're not man and wife because we came to get along as friends. And that's why Paul says, as much lies in you, Romans chapter 12, as much lies with you in you, live peaceably with all men. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. You're right. What God has put together, and that begs that question. Did God put y'all together? If God put y'all together, well, y'all just hang in there. I'm gonna pray for you. You know what I'm saying? But it hurts my heart. It breaks my heart for you as your brother because I know where you are. Because you're battling something else now because your wife is going through some physical thing and you want to be there for her. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, you're a good man, JT. You are a good man, and I
No,
brag on you all the time.
and it's crazy because 70% of men leave their wife when they have an illness.
Yeah, yeah, you're exactly right.
70%. And what's interesting is, let me give you a prime example. My brother said to me,
Okay.
I could never be you
Mm,
because you're going to be loyal when there's no loyalty.
mm,
Yeah, that's good.
And,
I feel you.
and then he said, when do you know? And I asked this question because I'm in a good space where I know God has worked on my character, and I would sit with a bunch of men in a group and we talk.
Right,
And Dr. Sims, a lot of the dudes was in there like, I'm out. Answer
yeah,
no good, based on the trajectory of how people do, I will never be that man.
right,
Like, there's been a time I've never wanted a divorce. Never. My wife has.
right,
And if you leave me, I'm going with you. Uh,
right.
I've I've said I ain't going nowhere. And it is put wedge between me and my brothers
Okay.
because they feel like, man, your DMs is lit. Because I have accountability with my brother as far as my DMs and all that. Hey, you know, it's just, I ain't no Rory or nothing, but
That's good. Hey, sure.
I
I know, right?
I ain't
I
no
know,
Roy.
right? Well, good.
I'm
Good evening again,
I'm just
everybody.
Odie.
Rory, I want to come to you next. Good evening, everybody. Hey,
I'm
Sharon,
Odie.
how's
hey,
everybody doing? Y'all tap the screen. We got almost 20,000 likes. Thank you, JT. Thank you for that, JT. We love you, man, and
yeah,
and I admire you. And I told you that when we ate dinner at
yeah,
Mary Matt. I got a lot of admiration for you. You're a good man, man. You're one of a kind. You're a rare bird. You're even rarer than Phil is. You're a unicorn.
He's a unicorn.
you,
He's a whole unicorn
Come
out
on,
these days.
Rory.
Man, I'm
I see
just
a twinkle in your eye, Rory. Come on, talk to us.
that twinkle is never mind. I'm just listening to a lot of the conversation, man, and just gleaning off all of this wisdom, man. Sometimes I'm just here to sit back and listen. I like what
Yeah,
I'm hearing, man.
yeah,
Um, I'm anxious for JT's book to come out.
yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
read the first line of
Everybody want. Where can they order your book from, JT?
It'll be online. It'll be an ebook. It'll be online, 12 p.m. This coming Friday. And what I'm doing with the ebook is I'm also adding videos because I know certain people learn different. I won't say no names, but I got a couple of brothers who struggle with dyslexia. They struggle with reading.
Okay,
I'm speaking it out too as well. I got some powerful questions that really challenge people to kind of think through what they're going.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I have the questions, Doctor.
Is this
Listen, I'll quote you, brother. Not whatever percentage you need to get, I'll go and throw it to you. Because
did you self-publish?
no, because I'm
Yeah,
self-publishing, and the
yeah,
reason why I'm asking these questions because I'm at an age now where I'll be very transparent. Don't you? I
come on.
know
Oh, come with.
come on, come on, come on.
I gained weight. I stopped working out. I stopped hanging out, all because I didn't want any attention because things weren't going right,
Understand, understand.
and I started dying
Mm,
and dreaming. And then what happened was once I realized that, um, and I'm a weirdo. I am a unicorn in this. I don't trust
Yeah,
anybody to shoot their shot if I'm married. Because if you do
yeah.
it to me, when you with me, you'll do it with somebody else. That's just
Hello. Now, and you do know your logic was kind of reversed now because in the 20, 21, 22, 23, the dad body father figures are in. So you gaining weight, you more attractive, you more luscious.
Girth, baby,
So
girth.
so you need to be getting slim and trim. You know what I'm saying? And that may not work. Oh, look at Rory. Look at Rory.
come on. Ain't nobody coming to see me. They didn't already confirm. Ain't nobody coming to see Otis. So
That's what little mama said. Little mama said, "Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis."
they confirmed.
what does that look like? What does that look like? Because there are people out there. Women do it more than we do.
Yeah. Oh
Their
yeah.
level of
Yeah.
loyalty is crazy.
Yeah.
If a man gets sick, a woman ill.
Yeah.
She wrote ride or
When a
die.
woman
Ride or
gets sick,
die.
ride or die. So my thing is, and I'm saying this just for any young man or somebody who's listening, like, what does it look like to love when the love can be loveless?
Yeah.
To be faithful when somebody is tolerating
Amen.
instead of celebrating.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
Hmm.
would know
Yeah.
your thoughts on that, Doctor. But based on you, you like peace out.
To that point, um, 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 I'm more engaged now. I don't flirt as much. I'm focused. I'm more attentive. I'm more present. We don't fuss, don't fight, because it's sad you're in a relationship. You're married 20 plus years,
Hmm.
and the person can't call your name.
Hmm.
They call the boy's name and the dog's name and don't refer to you. You don't have a bank card. You
Hmm.
don't have the insurance card.
Hmm.
It was a lot of animosity, and I refused. I drew a line in the sand and said I'm not going to do it anymore. And I said, Lord, Lord, you just got to do what you do. And I'm being blessed afterwards. You know what I'm saying? And every situation is different. So I don't advise anybody when they come to me for help. I don't advise anybody to get a divorce because it's the death. You're going through a death. It's a death of a relationship. So there's a grieving process. You know what I'm saying? But no, man, no, this ain't gonna be a number two because I'm in it to win this time, and we actually love each other. You know, yeah. I was a little late tonight because we went to dinner. We came. I teach a class in the city that I spent 30 years in, so I live 90 miles away. So
Hmm.
she couldn't make an appointment for her nails with her normal spa. So I said we'll go to my nail tech in Dothan. We'll spend the night in the hotel. We
Hmm.
went to dinner. So we fed, and I was a little late because I was spending some time with her. Because you know, one of my greatest arguments against me that I don't spend enough time. And I say, you see me every day. No, 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 that's not the same. And so I'm more deliberate now. You know what I'm saying? So that begs a question for you. What is one of the things you say in your book to aid us with emotional intelligence? What can we do?
I think the biggest thing is to be emotionally aware of who you are and what you tolerate. There are three things that I think are important everybody needs to do. And I recommend this if you're in Rory's spot where you single, easy, sweat, line in the sand. Easy is I can do it, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
Sweat, I need
Okay.
to work on that. Line in the sand, I will never tolerate it. What happens is you get in a full relationship and you compromise your lines in the sand.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you start
Yeah.
sacrificing your line in the
Yeah.
sand.
We call them
And then
non-negotiables, don't we,
yeah,
Roy?
you're non-negotiable. And then what you do is you let that person cross the line, but it's your fault.
But she fine, JT. She fine, man. She got.
Okay, so let me give you something I give my young boys.
Okay.
Yams can be a scam.
Oh, oh.
Yams can
I'm
be a
gonna give you
scam.
credit. The
But
first
I
time
like
I
sweet
use that, I'm gonna give
potatoes,
you credit.
JT. I like
I'm gonna give you
potatoes.
credit the first time. The yams can be a scam.
And listen, I like,
Yeah,
I
that
like
can be a scam.
herbs.
Yes, can be a scam.
Help. I like the yams.
I like
All
yam,
right.
man. 36,
This,
24, 39.
If she 5'3", but you know.
Hey,
somebody said not when they are real. So Tomoko, stop it. Tomoko, stop it. No, but seriously, the thing that I had realized was I
yeah,
believe this with all my heart. There's a gap in space between what you say and what I
right,
receive. Words
right,
do have power, but I have to value what you say, one, and I have to think less of myself to embrace what you say. It only
right,
has value when I believe it and when I
right.
value the person who says it.
That's
And
right. That's right. That's right.
the problem is that my insecurities dominated me to the point where I didn't see it. I had an imposter syndrome. One of the things people struggle with, if you ain't have a dad, most men struggle with imposter syndrome. They don't know if
Right,
they're good enough. They had a bad dad, they struggle with that. So you'll get in an
right,
argument with your lady and you'll be like, am I really that bad? And so
right.
you stay to prove yourself.
I struggle.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
stay to prove yourself, but at the same time, you're still harming yourself and vice
Right,
versa. And so what happens is you find yourself a trophy husband and she's a trophy wife. And I would say this, Dr. Sins, my biggest problem with
right,
us as men is that
right.
if we got in touch with our emotions more, we probably wouldn't deal with 90% of the women that we come across. Because she would never fit who you truly desire to have.
That's
Because
right.
see,
That's
here's
a
the
good point.
things.
That's a good point.
Getting yams with an emotional match is heaven.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Hear me,
Amen.
Rory. Getting yams with an emotional match is heaven.
That's
But
where hey, truth, truth,
when you
truth.
get that, and then a woman can get a good man, like get a man who's she gives her the whole Thanos, give her the whole Thanos, you know.
The
She want the
Thanos.
whole Thanos. So she could get, but if she could get Thanos that is emotionally intelligent,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
her life is over. There's no going nowhere.
it's
And
a
see,
Yeah.
hey,
it's a
and
listen, bro.
Phil probably can attest to this. When you with somebody that you supposed to be with and y'all are supposed to be with each other, the love is on a whole nother level. It don't matter if it's 60 seconds or
Oh,
60 minutes.
Woo.
It man, it's on a whole nother level. It's
It
on a whole
is.
nother level.
It
nah,
is.
Hey,
So
it's
to
you
on a
you,
mean to
whole
tell
Rory,
nother
me?
level.
but
You
to
mean to
you,
tell me,
Rory,
Doc, Phil, and JT? You mean to tell me that if the love is there, if and I only last I only give it 2 minutes, she gonna treat me like I'm the king?
You
look,
already
man,
know.
I've
See
been,
what we don't understand, and JT just spoke to it. What we don't understand, when a woman is into you, when a woman loves you, what did Rodney Perry say? He said that his wee wee was only big to the person that loved him.
Mm.
I'll tell you this, to a person, if you're with the right woman, and me
Come on,
being gone so
come on,
much, been gone for a long time, when I get back, dude, that minute 45 seconds of mad passionate love is woo! But you got to come back with a second round now.
Ric
You
Flair,
got to come back with a
woo,
second round.
woo, Ric
You
Flair,
can't stop at a minute
woo.
45. You know, that's the first one
Yeah.
because you've been gone.
It is one. It doesn't take as long when you know the body you're serving.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
And the
It just
second thing
doesn't.
is, when you're talking about make sure them yams is fresh when you're looking for them yams, Rory. But ain't nothing wrong with some canned yams until you find the right ones, man. Just some canned.
I'm messing with no
All right,
canned
Phil,
yams.
give us some parting words, Phil. We're gonna go Phil, JT, and Rory. Give us some parting words.
Here's my parting words. I love you guys. I love you. Here's my wishes. I wish I had the heart that JT has. I wish I had the compassion and the openness that Rory has. I wish that I had your wisdom around me all the time, especially when I needed Dr. Sims. And I wish this freaking table talk never ends. That's all I got.
Oh man,
Man, love you, bro. Love you,
Love you
bro.
guys back. Love you back.
Listen, man. Listen, bro. Listen. You got people out here feeling some kind of way. What I would say is love hard and love clear.
yeah,
Yeah,
Because too many people fall in love with somebody, but they're not clear about what that love is and what the boundaries are in it.
yeah,
that's
So
right.
love
That's right.
hard, but love clear. And when you love clear, you can clearly see your mistakes. You can clearly see
Yeah,
what you need to change.
yeah.
And you can clearly stop loving and being in a relationship with somebody who ain't good for you before you get married. Because once you
that's
marry,
right.
you clearly got to fight, right? So
Yeah.
you got to clearly put the work in. So, so,
You gotta
so,
fight. I had to fight all my life. Harpo, I had to fight all my life.
yeah, man.
You told
Yeah,
Hawk.
Love you,
yeah. Because,
man.
yeah, love y'all too. Hey, Rory, you my dude, man. I appreciate you,
I
bro.
brother.
Same to you, Dr. Phil, for real.
I appreciate y'all.
Love you, man.
Love you too, man.
Love you, bro.
Come on,
All
Rory.
right. Parting words. I love all of y'all. Appreciate
Love you,
all the
man.
feedback we got tonight from the, I'm not gonna say peanut gallery, but from the comment section for the blue table talkers, the blue table faithful. Um, I soaked up a lot tonight. I got some more work to do. I
Yeah,
got I
yeah,
got some
yeah.
more
Proud,
work to do, Doc.
proud of you,
Thought
man. So proud of you.
I'm not where I used to be. Old
Yeah,
Rory was closed off and didn't want to hear shit from nobody. Uh, Rory 2.0, probably it's probably Rory 4.0 now. Many
yeah,
metamorphoses and Phoenix rises and settings that I've been through. Um, I'm learning how to be more open with
yeah.
people and accepting the fact that not everybody is out to get me. I had the biggest irrational thought in my head that everybody was out to get me. Like it was
Right.
Rory against the whole world. I couldn't
Yeah.
trust anybody, and quite honestly, I don't know. Well, I know where it came from. It
Right.
stemmed from un unsolved childhood traumas.
Right.
Right. Uh, I was granted a few years ago, maybe 8 years ago now. There was an opportunity for me to meet my abuser.
Okay.
And for however long I've been carrying that, uh, my whole thing was when I saw him again, I
Yeah.
was gonna beat the brakes off of him.
Right.
I saw him again, I was gonna beat the brakes off of him. I had an opportunity to see him,
Amen.
uh, and I politely bowed out of the
Amen.
opportunity.
Amen.
For one, I didn't carry that hurt. I don't carry that hurt anymore. Um, I've gotten, I've gotten over it. I've gotten past it, but it's still a part of my character, my makeup. I mean, it
Amen.
happened from when I was what 7 to about 10, 11 years old. It's a big makeup, a big part of my makeup, and that's why I always felt like I have to be a protector. I have to protect my
Amen.
brothers. I have to protect my sisters. I have to protect my kids. That's why
Yeah.
in school I was a bully, but I was the bully's bully in school. And even to this day, I'm a protector of the people. I love people. I have a heart for the people. I
Amen.
wish I could just protect everybody from everything. I wish my arms were long enough to protect everybody from
Right.
everything, that no hurt would come anybody's way. I get alone. I get lonely at night sometimes, Doc. And the young lady talked about, well, I don't want a man that'll cry for everything. Well, I cry at everything. I'm a
Man,
big ass
man,
baby.
I'm a
I
waterhead.
told you.
I'm a waterhead.
I'm a big ass baby. Don't let this tough exterior fool you. I'm a
Yeah,
big
I
ass baby.
man.
And my main takeaway is
Amen.
I can be a big ass baby if I want to. It doesn't take away from my manhood or my masculinity at all. Matter of fact, it increases who I am. It increases my masculinity. There is strength in being vulnerable.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to realize that and recognize that. But there is strength in being vulnerable. And my second takeaway is it's okay to let people behind the curtain. That's, so the curtains open, y'all. I'm opening up the curtains.
All right. Hey, all right, Wiz. We appreciate you, man. You can't win,
You
child.
can't
You
win.
can't begin. You can't get out of the
Click the link in the
game.
bio. This is brand new. Click the link in the bio.
Yeah, click the link in his bio. Love you, man.
Love you, brother.
All right. Thank you, Angel. Thank you, Coach Angel. Guys, June the 3rd. Well, I'm going to be in Austin, Texas from June 1 to June 6, my birthday. We're going to fly back into Atlanta early and spend the night in Atlanta and celebrate my birthday in Atlanta. But anyway, I'm going to be in the Austin, Texas area from June 1 to June 6. I'm playing golf. We're going to Punch Bowl Social the Friday night, the 2nd. But June the 3rd, and there's a link in my bio, June the 3rd, we're having the first annual Adam and Eve Men and Women's Conference sponsored by the Blue Table Talk for Men. We want you there. Go ahead and get your tickets now before the price goes up. We got to pay for the building. We got to pay for stuff. And so you're going to get so much for only, right now it's $99. Thank you, Trish. Trish has signed up. Angel has signed up. Mobetta has signed up. The fellows are signing up. We're going to have 10 people there. There's some couples in Houston that's going to drive to Austin and be with us. We're going to go from 11 to 3 o'clock, and we're gonna have coaching. We're gonna develop a strategic plan to how to get along with men and women. We're going to have a good time. Okay, we're gonna have a wonderful time. I got some. I certify life coaches. If you believe that you have what it takes to become a certified life coach, set up a meeting with me, and we'll talk about it. I'm ending a class now. I got another class coming up April the 19th, but we can work it around your schedule. Okay, if you need a coach, some of my clients are in here. If you need a coach, I'm here to help you. If you need some relationship help, if you need some personal help, if you need some business help, I'm very good at what I do. I'm very good at what I do. So, Dr. Sam, what are we going to do in Texas? We're going to Punch Bowl Social, ping pong, karaoke. It's June the 3rd. We're gonna have our conference. Then that night, we're going to be dancing and having a good old time. So I'm glad the fellas were here today. Yella, we miss Yella. Thank you, Tamako. We miss Yella tonight. But he probably got tied up doing some things with the missus. Rory, thank you for being here. JT, much success on your book. I'm going to get a copy of that ebook. Phil, love you, man. Love you. Marvin, thank you for getting on the hot seat tonight. Everybody, he got up for you. You're going to be on the hot seat. We've been promising to get you on the hot seat. You're going to be on the hot seat next week. So he got up for you. You better be here. And we're here every Wednesday night. I see somebody say, well, what time do y'all start? We're here every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. But y'all need more than one night. Do we really? It's a lot of material, a lot of content in each of our lives. And I do not want this to get watered down because we're doing it too much. More is not always better. We give you 7 days to chew on what we talk about. If you want to watch the previous episodes, go to our YouTube channel, bluetabletalkformen.com. Go to our YouTube channel. It's a lot of meat that we have here. Okay? And so you just listen to what we talk about and learn and glean and take some notes and apply it in your life. More is not always better. We may do one additional talk during the week. But I think Wednesday night is our night. I mean, this is our network. This is our TV show. This is our talk show. The Blue Table Talk for Men talk show. This is how we do it. You know, Oprah, her show was only once a week. Ellen doesn't come on every day. Well, she might. I think Ellen comes on every day. She probably show every day, but once a week. Once a week. Oh yeah, and see tonight we counted 30 minutes over tonight. We started a little bit late, 7 minutes late. Okay, and we love y'all. All right, and remember, if you need me, just reach out. Okay, and like I said, go ahead and sign up. Please sign up as soon as you can. Okay, sign up for our conference as soon as you can because we're gonna hopefully we're gonna have enough for men on this side, the women on this side, and we're gonna facilitate that conversation. And we want the men and the women to peel the layers back. You did this. This hurt me. You said that. This hurt me. You're welcome, Purple. You're welcome, Purple. Purple Gummy Bear. Amen. Love y'all. All right. Thank you, Trish. All right. We're going to have a great time. So sign up for this conference ASAP sooner than later. All right. Okay. Thank you, Coach Angel. Love y'all so much. All right. Thank you, Angie. Appreciate you, Angie. All right. Y'all be good. All right. Love you, man. All right. Y'all be good. And remember, if you stay high on life, life's going to stay high on you.